Today's episode of the Meet the Brave podcast is powered by Northwest Pizza and Pasta, where if you think the pizza is good, try hands down the best wings in the valley. Nobody does wings like NWP. I mean, nobody. Order online to save time for takeout and delivery right now. Keep it lit. Our day one sponsor, Northwest Pizza and Pasta. Salute to Morgue. Then also, today's show is powered by The Reef. Studio in downtown Oakland specializes in both music and podcasting. And if you need voiceover shit too, for everybody that's doing books on tape and like sensual books, I don't know if niggas is still into them, but hey, give us a call. And then also, another sponsor.
I look, you want to do a sensual book, just
okay.
Because I didn't know what the full realm of spectrum, like things you could do.
You didn't know what's a part. Let me get this last one.
Like that's the bag I want to get into.
And then also today's episode is powered by Uplifters. Salute to Janelle and company, black-owned domino company. Specialized cases, wooden boxes. There was a velvet run for a minute. If you didn't get those, you definitely missed out. One of a kind. And then tables, pens, notepads, too, to keep score. I got a running tally of Bacon Lex, Bacon LG, Lodge. My mama can get this smoke. Iman Europe, you too, you can get this smoke. Who else I cooked? Brookfield Deuce, Kevin Allen. Who am I missing? Royce. Who am I missing? Frank. Lex again, because he looking like I'm lying right now. That's crazy.
Yeah. But call us about twice, bro.
We just got to let him get it off because it's his advertisement. I get it.
You feel me? Salute to Uplifters right now. Follow Uplifters, no vowels right now on IG and order your set today. Black-owned dominant company. Salute. It's the Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper.
I am LG.
Lex B-U-B.
What's up, fellas? How we feeling?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey.
I mean, been out the way. I had somebody tell me the other day I'm growing out the supervillain like goatee.
There you go.
So I was like, you're right. You're right. I think that's the mode I'm in. I'm in a supervillain mode.
Supervillain get low?
Yeah.
Lex Bub, how you feeling, man?
I'm tired.
Yeah, you hiked in some more shit yesterday, man. You really was producing.
The funniest part about the hike, though, because we got to where the trail was at before the sun was coming up, so it was dark. Mm-hmm. And the client and her sister were there, and they were like, we ain't walk on that trail, and it was dark. And so me and Lodge is like, all right, we gonna walk. Lex, you walk in the front, I'll walk in the back. So we're walking, and then the client, she starts playing the song that she's gonna dance to, but it's just a violin solo.
Oh, y'all was on some.
So then everybody's like, don't play that. This is how black people die in the forest. In my head, I'm like, I'm in the front. So as long as I don't look back, whatever's killing everybody else can't kill me till I turn around.
Right. So I'm with you, Lex, man. You done watched enough of these things, man. You know how it goes.
Who scores their own death, though? Like, that's crazy.
That's real.
Yo.
You gotta know the music that you died to.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know that.
What would your soundtrack be?
Shit, Edward Scissorhands.
Okay. This nigga. What?
Akuma Matata.
You want to go on some happy shit?
Hell yeah. No worries, be happy.
What song was playing when Cleo got shot and set it off? Day after day.
That's a hard one too.
Just play that
because that should be slow motion death. I feel like you get a lot of the beginning of that on that.
Bro, why Cleo jump out and shoot it out some more though? Just die in peace. Like that scene is traumatizing, bro. I can still visualize that shit to this day.
How you think Jada felt when she was on the bus passing her by?
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Like, she had to witness that firsthand. How you think the rest of her life went?
Jada was on her way to freedom too.
How you think Set It Off 2 went?
This nigga's crazy. L came in on pure bullshit.
She took her talents to
Set It Off 2, G.
Yeah.
Real quick, elevator pitch for Set It Off 2. Just humor me.
I feel like most of the movie is probably gonna be kind of like how the latest version of Oceans was with like Rihanna has to be a part of it.
What are they on Oceans 15?
I don't know what they had the all women cast. I think that's might have been
was
what
that
they kind of took that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think they should have had Jada like grabbing the group to put that together. That'd have been cool.
Bring them all back in alignment.
Yeah, like just going out there and getting like people that's retired or like breaking somebody out of jail. I think most of the film is going to be her accumulating the team because they all going to like once they actually get to like the shit at hand. I think they going to win that battle. I don't think it's gonna go like set off one. She learned her lesson.
She learned her lesson.
Yeah, she way ahead of the game.
This nigga hell is crazy. It's a lot did happen this week. The guys, y'all came in clipped up. I had some basic shit. So I just kind of where we want to take. You want to take life on one today, or we want to ease into some shit, or you just want to jump off the deep end?
No, we stay on one, man.
All right. Well, y'all left it up to me. Larsa it is. Larsa out here wilding. No, we're not gonna do that. That's somebody, mama we talking about. Not gonna do that. I don't know.
I mean that, man. I'm not going for all the Larsa hate right now, man. I'm just not gonna go for it. All right. Enough is enough.
Speak your truth, kid.
Y'all have to stop.
We're not starting our show with Larsa Pittman, dog. That's crazy.
Okay, what you want to start with?
Nah, we are. We here.
It's too late.
I'm just pointing out. This is crazy. All right, Larsa hate. Go.
All right, cool. So, I think enough is enough on us, like coming down on the women that end up in these situations.
This nigga, man. All right.
Like she just out here living her life.
All right, G.
Queen.
All right, G. They already said we feminists low key on the show.
All right, so we ain't gonna put nothing in the bag of the person that's married. You think Larsa's still married to Scotty? Have you seen Scotty lately?
Okay.
Have you heard Scotty lately?
Hey, Scotty do got straight backs right now. All right, bro. Come on, man. Can we be adults, please? Golly.
All right.
After he says the joke.
You don't know, right?
Hey, no, G. So
what's up? I think the only thing about it is just that she has like a child that is now. I think is he in high school or college?
Hell no, he's in college.
Oh, he's in college now. So
who's serving too, Evan?
Yeah, so he good though. He know what's up. I think when you got like celebrity parents, you should already know what's up. So like all that shit should just be added to like his brand. Like now people are paying attention to him because she out here going on one.
But is she okay? So help me understand the smoke.
Yeah.
Because the public relationship shit is weird. I get like the celebrity, like let me not be goofy and naive and go because they're celebrities, people are paying attention. Like I fully understand that. Did bruh was still married and left his situation, or
yeah, they're separated.
They are separated.
Yeah,
supposedly.
They were separated.
So then what's the beef?
Supposedly. And you know what? You know, the beef was that the wife came out and said that this is news to her. So she's the one that made it like lifted it up that way.
I'm not when women do that. This is news to me.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't news to you.
I'm not following. That's how it went. That's how it went like that.
When we gonna talk about that?
Exactly. So we should talk about that more than we need to talk about how she moved.
We're not gonna do that. We already on the ledge right now.
All right. She nice though. She gonna bounce back. For sure.
The second for sure is what's sick.
It's the third one.
There was a third for sure.
For sure.
She gonna bounce back. Bounce back. Yo, you're a sick.
Ain't gotta worry about that.
So who do we have more smoke for? Anybody, or is it just grown people on their own shit? They should just happen to be public.
Yeah, grown people on their own shit. I think that people need to stay out of grown folks' business.
Facts. What is protocol for ending? Because that's not ending a situation, nigga. That's ending a marriage, though. What is proper?
Yeah, but
protocol?
they like 25-year-old marriage though.
Damn.
So like,
they
what did you do before you got married? You feel me?
Nothing.
Like, so that's as simple as like if you were to break up as boyfriend girlfriend. Like
don't do that.
Huh?
Don't do that. Them folks got paperwork together. They got accounts together.
What they get paperwork at 23, 22?
Yeah. You saying it's not valid?
You can't hold people accountable at 22, 23. That should be illegal for them to get paperwork at 22, 23.
Why they always pull Scotty into it though?
Poor Scotty. Scotty can't even just live his life.
I mean, he can't even drink a glass of Kool-Aid without them mentioning his wife.
Hey, that's Scotty's fault though. Scotty should never try to get into the limelight. When When you look at Larsa, you could. How you gonna look at Larsa and be like, oh, long term, I'm gonna be able to hold this down?
Hey,
He owned
L.
1,000 a day.
What's in the cup today?
Yo, G, this how you feel today?
Huh?
That's how you feeling today?
All right, if you look at Scotty, you look at Larsa, you like, oh yeah, he gonna be able to hold that down for 50 years.
He ran it back too.
What?
All right, so that begs
Because my thing is that you got to utilize your youth, right? So how long you think she's gonna be able to utilize like looks and shit? Because that's what you're going off of, right? So if you go off aesthetics, then you have to use that while you can. And if you think that Bray ain't the one long term, then I'm gonna continue to use this to my advantage until I end up in some shit that I feel secure in and be good. And however long that take, hey, and you can continue to get surgery, so it's good. So you can do that. You can pull that out for another 15, 20 years.
L was on 1,000 today.
I'm just thinking. I'm just saying. There's way too much attention on shit that people ain't got nothing to deal with. Cause like regular people ain't able to just go out and get surgery like that. So you're gonna have to end up with the people you with.
You're gonna have to end up with the people you. Wait, so did y'all see the video that went viral of the dating consultant? And so he's on IG, goes live with them and offers advice based off of aesthetics. And just what?
Or like who matches, right? Correct?
No. Wait, hold on. Just so y'all know I'm not capping. This really happened. Just so y'all can hear how crazy this shit got. Damn, it's not in there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in my text thread.
Yeah, but Lex, you think I'm wrong on that?
Honestly, no. Just the way you broke it down now, I was like, okay, I see where L's coming from.
Yeah, because I think that you should know, like, that's one thing that people don't pay attention to enough is that if you're going to be operating in some of these lanes, you got to know what comes with the territory, right? So that's why you hear a lot with guys that are trying to occupy a lot of those circles, why they get so intimidated by like big banks. So like why so many people will be talking about like, oh, well, I can't do shit over here because James Harden over there, or I can't do shit over there because, you know.
Oh, you literally mean big bank, like.
Yeah, if you're not like but you gotta also know who you're going for though. Like y'all trying to swim in the same pools with folks that are only trying to like see what they can get out of the equation. So if you're going for a certain aesthetic and some of these women that know exactly like, okay, if I get this particular work done, then I'm gonna get this particular result. So this automatically, if I do this, because it's already a blueprint for this. So if I do this, then automatically this human being will pay for this. Easy, simple equation, right? So that's the normal dynamic. But then you have people that are on the outside looking in that don't have those banks for just like throwing out money or throwing out that type of money, that would then look at that equation and be irritated at the fact that that is even happening and see where they fit in that equation. They're still trying to go for that person, knowing that there's no way to operate in that same pool. That's a whole nother pool. That's the deep end.
On gold.
That's the deep end.
Here, because we got to come back to that. But to your point,
is what I'm realizing. And ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
He's frustrated. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
This is where it gets sick.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
Just
my face when I wake up 5, but when I put myself together 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
Did you, stop right there. Stop right there.
Let it sink in.
Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women. Off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But you're,
Why did he have to keep saying ma'am that way? They think, but it begs a larger question. And let's not just frame this for women too.
No,
and because you weren't,
you
actually weren't framing it for women. Like that's what was so crazy. That's why I wanted to play that. Like,
got it. Both sides.
Because to that point, it's like you going, no, look at her. Nigga, what did you expect? She's gonna be moving and shaking the way you would if you had done all that. Not. Go ahead.
And no, for sure. And then the cold part about it is that if you do actually luck up and stumble across, like hitting a home run, right? In this equation, you hit a home run, right? You do specifically what guys do in those situations where you fumble it because you treat them as if you treat them any other way. You don't treat them the way that you did when you was leading up to that. When you thought that other people were in the running for this particular. So when you took the running out, then you treated it the exact same way and lost it, and then you're figuring out like, oh shit, well I could do that again because I did this one. Nah, it doesn't go that way. You just you hit a home run. You got a below average batting average. You know what I mean? Like, but you operate as if that's your bag, but that's not true. That's not true. It's just interesting to me, though. It really is interesting to me that, for one, we've been talking about Scotty this entire time, and Scotty has done nothing wrong besides choose incorrectly. Like, that's it.
Do you think he would say that though today?
No, because they have kids in the equation. I wouldn't say that. I would say that
niggas. All right, never mind. I mean, I'm not a dad. I can't play that game. I'm not even about to do that.
What?
Oh, we got kids now. It's like that feels like a cop out.
It's definitely a cop out. But that's what you say when you make the wrong decision. Is that but we got kids, so of course I didn't make the wrong decision because we got children. I wouldn't have those specific children.
Damn.
But if you ain't got kids, yeah, nigga, you made the wrong. Nigga, how much time you waste?
This nigga's podding today.
Scotty might not feel it was waste of time.
That's what I'm saying. That's see what I'm saying? Like,
for all we know, he might still beat his meat to her.
Oh my god. Okay, you too?
My guy.
So
my guy. My God, I know you can come through for me, man. I know you can come through for me.
What have we done? I had plans of a good wholesome show today. All right, we here.
Bro, you doing that is nuts.
What is going on today?
My nigga, that's your wife.
Okay. Netflix.
I don't even think it's your ex-wife, bro. I think that's still your just regular wife.
All right, man.
Y'all just separated.
Hey, but if he don't get it,
Hey, when you think was the last time he got it? When he was on the Bulls?
yeah, I don't know.
What's their youngest child? Because at least they give us a timeline.
I have no idea. I don't even know what's happening no more.
He said, what's the timeline? We gonna figure this out.
Hey, man, I'll figure this out, man. What's Scottie Pippen's youngest child with Larsa?
I don't even know no more.
Nah, it's all love, Scottie, man. It's all love, Larsa.
I think that's the only thing I'm concerned about. It's like the celebrity, all your business is out, but it's just regular people shit. Like niggas with no money be having shit way messier than this. So I'm just like, what's the escape to just be like, oh, it's messy over there, it's entertaining. Like it's like everybody's shit is fucked up.
Oh, completely. I mean, to tell you the truth, it really does come down to like how aesthetically pleasing the people are. Because if you do not have that, then people don't really give a shit. That's really what it is. They don't give a fuck.
What was you about to say, Lex?
Scotty got 5 rings. That's what makes it messy.
That too.
It's like, man, you got 5 rings, and that's.
So are we asking?
Scotty got 5 or he got 6? I think Scotty got 6.
He got 6?
Yeah, Scotty got 6. Yeah.
I know that because Jordan ain't got rings without Scotty.
Yeah. Yeah, they both got 6.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm only asking that because are we asking for just be stealthy and be discreet, or not to do it? Like, which one is it? And I mean,
are you talking about from the public, or are you talking about from the people involved?
Go people involved.
Okay.
And then once you get to the public, how can anyone in the public eye just be so enamored and have such polarizing, oh man, Lars out here tripping. Nah, bruh tripping for leaving this. Like, bruh, it's just none of my business. Like I think the only thing I felt for it was Scotty Jr. because he really out there balling. Like he's killing it. Like he's gotten significantly better. Where he was ranked was strange. Like watching him hoop for the Soldiers and everything is like, yeah, bruh's nice. But after that, it's like this shit ain't none of my business. But it's people that really, really feel away. And even your take is like, you still had a take that was removed from everybody's business.
I mean, my take is always removed from people's business.
No, but everybody else's take is like in their business.
No, I said mine is always away from
No, I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
yours is removed.
Yeah, but other people's, it's conversation pieces. So it's like, I think that's how people connect to other people.
That's a crazy way to, I don't want to connect with you over.
Yeah, but that's literally how they connect with other people is that some of these topics that you take the name brand, a household name, it's per se, and then y'all put it on the table and y'all have these conversations, and it's how you connect with the other person without them being in your particular business. Now it depends on your particular relationship and what y'all talking about, on how much information you gonna put on that table, because nigga, I don't want you in my shit. So if my shit is very similar to this, like I did some shit like this and it was greasy,
don't tell
my nigga. Hey, I'm gonna be the nigga that got tight lips
at the table when everybody
at the table while everybody talking, bro. You gonna have these 2 women going head to head, and then them sending out subliminals about they niggas, and it's like fuck, goddamn, and both niggas just sitting there across the table like, fuck, y'all just shut the fuck up.
Can we change the subject, please? So that's what I mean, to be so enamored and so engulfed in somebody else's life, and to trigger, to mirror or to trigger something to where you so engaged. It's like, dog, like let's just talk about you then, as opposed to like having these subliminal discussions about somebody else's, but you're You're projecting, or
that's too close to home, man. Yeah. That's too close. Folks don't be having them tough conversations.
That's what was.
They don't have a table. They don't have a red table at the crib.
Man, that's what was resonating with me. It was like, yo, this feel like this everybody else's life and not really theirs. Like anytime, anytime Larsa Pimpin's name comes up in anything, it's like women especially got something to say, but then the niggas got something to say. But then the niggas is weird because they quoting Future raps that's the most insecure, toxic shit ever, bro. So I'm just confused all the way around. Like I don't know who to believe, who tough, who not, who heartless, who cold, who's in love. Like it's the lovey-dovey niggas is posing as the heartless, like stone cold niggas, and the stone cold niggas is like operating in the lovey-dovey space. So it's all just confusing. It's like, all right, bro, I don't know who's what anymore.
Man, you saw YFN Lucci new video, man.
See what I mean?
Hey, when I was watching that, I was like, oh yeah, this nigga tripping.
Shit is nobody know what they want to be.
That's it. But yeah, like Larsa Pippen, I don't have a problem whatsoever. Don't have a problem with
Beasley,
Lori Harvey, like the folks that just keep it pushing. Yeah. Like no matter what comes out about it, they just keep it going. Like you ain't gonna hear them giving out no statements. We ain't about to do no sit down think pieces. We ain't going in front of Vlad.
What do you do when you move on to another situation? You just go, you move on, but it's because you're a celebrity and you're a woman celebrity. It's like, oh, she always got.
But they be bashing though, like as if like
it's just
women can't move like that. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what it is. When men are moving like that all day long, and the conversation goes more like they got hella hoes.
All right, they already killing us for being all on the women's side, by the way, because I'm the sicko that's reading the comments right now. So,
what they want me to say, man?
No, not what they. I'm gonna just pose a question to us as men.
And if y'all keep taking it personal, man, it is what it is.
It is,
bro.
man, personal. It's like damn.
Because like if y'all, and that's part of my reasoning why I do it that way. And I know I do this consciously, so I gotta clap for y'all for falling for it. But
I told you, L.
Nah.
I'm gonna get you a belt today. You a champ today.
Hey man, I do this shit consciously, man. But I strictly started doing this shit, not just on mic, but just in life in general, because I wanted to pull more men cards. Because y'all ain't as strong as you act like you are.
Man.
So I'm here to pull every last one of y'all cards. So if you're taking that shit personal, that's on you. And I'm going to continue to do that shit and make you feel a certain type of way. Keep listening.
Well, that answers the question. Because that's where I was going. It was like, yo, I don't know. I'll answer for myself and then I'll frame it.
Niggas is soft.
Thank God.
That's it.
Why does... I don't know, bro. Maybe that's not a conversation for here. Let's move on. Netflix, you paying the $5? You paying the $5 for sure.
I ain't paying the $5.
You pay Lex paying the $5.
The Office is gone. I ain't paying the $5.
You paying the $5, G?
I got something to say about this, man.
Netflix is increasing their prices.
I'm not mad at it.
Is this their second or third jump?
The third jump.
This is the third?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Netflix doing that shit, tell you the truth.
Okay. You defend the man. Go ahead.
No, it's not even defending the man. I'm just not mad at it.
It just is what it is. It's like,
bro, like Netflix. You gotta think about where Netflix is as opposed to the rest of the game. So like Netflix is so much further ahead than the other streaming services that the other streaming services are figuring out a way to lowball the equation, but all while having like, you know, putting a lot of money into like what their individual shows will be or whatever. So I get it. For the time being, it makes sense. But I think Netflix is low key like the staple. I think that will continue to go on, even though it doesn't have like all this new like content, you would say. But I don't.
They still cranking out new shit.
Yeah, but I mean, right now the battle is with like HBO Max. It's just killing shit right now. What is it? Amazon Prime? I don't know what Amazon Prime has. Apple TV is going to continue to evolve. Even shit. Did you see what Apple has like with the new packages and shit?
I haven't.
They almost make you just do that shit. So Apple has it where they give you, and this was their way of like cornering the market and taking everybody out and shit. They give you a package where, as an individual, you can have Apple Music, Apple TV, Apple Games, and something else. I
Apple
forgot
TV.
and I think like 50 extra gigabytes or some shit. So they put that into a package, and it's $14.50 or some shit a month. So
What?
that's how they, and then they have that, and then they have like a family plan that's like $19 or some shit. Then they have another one that's like probably like $23.
What is happening to us, y'all?
So it's their way of like cornering that and taking out like completely putting everything into their ecosystem, and they can lowball it because everybody has a fucking Apple phone.
What's happening to us? Seriously. Like the Netflix shit, I'm not mad at it because I understand business, but I'm also just like, bro, we all here. Y'all got everybody. Like, it's not a single. How many people you know that don't have Netflix? And I mean, it went from like, oh man, niggas sharing an account to like everybody I know got either sharing something or got their own situation. Like, it's not a single person I know that isn't using Netflix.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, it's just who was saying that? Bomani was on the flagrant or not flagrant with the podcast with Bonzi Wells and Rasheed Wallace.
And he got one. Oh, that shit's
fire.
Sick.
But they were talking about, nigga, Bomani was essentially saying, no, it's gonna be a tournament. And the reason it's gonna be a tournament because bills got to be paid. Like, money's been promised to people, and everybody gonna do whatever they can in their within their power to make sure that the show goes on in these sports arenas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn. What we're seeing as far as like economically is like, yo, this shit is crazy because everybody trying to make it work, and the perception of big business, right? When you're playing with that much credit and that much debt, like you can do a lot of shit. For like my own personal learning and like really wanting to understand what resources look like, what wealth looks like, what turnover looks like, what it's been a mind fuck, especially within the entertainment realm. And I couldn't really make sense of it until they start having that inside the round table sit down with the networks and shit. I bring that up all the time, but it's like Netflix is in the red, bro. Like I know what they're showing stock market wise and everything, but as far as what the budgets that they're rolling out for these films and these shows, it's like they live in the red, and they can. And so we go, hey, we're gonna up the prices on everybody, and they've cornered the market in that regard. Like, everybody that's there ain't gonna, like, how many people you think are really gonna cancel they shit on principle now?
No way.
Not if you already got it.
Not if you already got it. You
gonna say 43% of people, once they sign up,
stay.
They just free.
Yeah, you just forget it's going.
Yeah.
But you're tapping into it damn near every day.
Bro, you have a 43% retention of a base.
Mm-hmm.
You not tripping. You not afraid of shit. You're not afraid of nothing when you roll out, yo, we gonna increase our prices by $5, $4.
Well, they said by, what was it, 2022, Netflix needed to get to $40, the subscription. Remember when that came out like a year and a half ago?
Like, in order to make sense?
To make sense.
As a business model for them?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm getting at, y'all. Who's bankrolling that roll? That's a hell of a rollout. You said 2022?
Yeah, it was like 2022 or 2023.
Netflix been booming since when? We're talking like 2011, 10?
Yeah.
So
you talk about streaming wise or like
yeah,
the disc?
Streaming has been like 2010,
disc is probably,
but disc was like 08, 06.
So we're talking
about 10 years.
Talking closer to 12 then, right? At that
overall,
yeah, trying to get to that point.
Well, they got Blockbuster up out of here, so that was impressive.
But who's
And
bank
Hollywood Video.
who's bankrolling a company of that magnitude that's going? I don't know. I'm not explaining it right, but my brain goes, if Netflix can live in the red, keep increasing the prices, living in like operating in beta, the iPhone can operate in beta. Why the fuck can't? Maybe I'm personalizing it too. It's like I want that much grace as an entrepreneur trying to figure shit out. Like fuck with me. Like let me increase the prices on y'all and retain the people that are there. Maybe what product, what deliverable, what asset do you have to give to retain that sort of grace, to acquire that sort of grace?
Is it with a company like Netflix? They started going into red after they started producing like a lot of their own shit? Or were they always?
Always, but even acquiring even more debt once you go, yo, we gonna give Ben and them whatever that was, 80 million or whatever that was.
We're gonna give Will Smith that.
And then Dave, and then here, like we're gonna start investing in ourselves because all of that IP, the lifetime royalty is way more valuable than a little bit of debt. What's a little bit of debt?
But I think that's why they're purging some of the assets that they have, though, in order to make it so that it's more of like a proprietary deal that they have going on. So I think that's why they're getting rid of like the office.
Not getting rid of or not being able to afford it.
Well, that too, but like also if you're operating in the red, why am I keeping the office for something that yes you'll keep going to and watching? Yes, that keeps people on there. But if we get rid of that, we can replace that with maybe I don't know, something else that we can produce or can have rights to. Then if we can get people over for that, then that means that we no longer have to.
But they stumbled
re-up
into that.
The amount.
They stumbled into that though.
Oh, completely. But you're always stumbling into these things for this. Like this is freaking like hedge fund people. Like this is people that are just like they have unlimited pockets to play around with different types of ideas.
They got unlimited pockets to play around with different type of ideas. When I'm speaking solely from the creative aspect,
completely,
where it's like, no, nigga, I've known that. That's why I've been trying to produce all this shit out of pocket to retain ownership and then approach it in that regard. But in order to, it's really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do to the podcast. Between the two of you. Like, even if there was an influx of money, and I'm personalizing this and I'm aware of it too, but I'm saying even if there was an influx of dollars, I still wouldn't be able to afford the two of you for what the value, the lifetime value, the evergreen value of this show is. Just this show. Haven't even start talking about the music yet. Haven't even start talking about the other shit that's just being produced as a whole. So then I'm going, Netflix, holy shit. Special after special, series after series, and then the films, like they're investing in themselves for a play that's not, that even in our lifetime we may not be able to go, oh yeah, they did that shit. And that's the problem as a whole. Like, not it fucking equal opportunity and all the shit that people normally get wrapped up in. It's the terrain to try a bunch of shit, to fail, and to still have an influx of cash to be like, yo, y'all, at y'all base, y'all got 43% of people that's gonna stay because of the shit that y'all do put out. I can roll with that as an investor or as a backer or as an entity, and it's just like it's just credit. Everything is being done on credit, so it's like I'm back at where I started at. For me, the perception of wealth, like that shit is just coming crumbling down. Like they're not playing with no fucking like liquid money. It's just like, nah, nigga, we're fucking around. Gonna go hide this here, move this here, clean that there, and then just to watch so many people of color have the same sort of mindset and mentality and apply it to other things and not be offered the same grace. And then I watched Trial 4 too, so now I'm really fucked up. Like, I told myself I wasn't watching no more crime specials about the court system being rigged and all this shit. Fell into the trap of that, and it's like, God damn it, man. Like something so minute. It's just it's a small variable, but it's something that resonates throughout. And you going, yo, I need another. If I could buy another 6 months of just freedom to create whatever I create in that 6 months, what it could be worth in 3 years, what it could be worth in 5 years. Shit, if I can get to 10 years. That's what Dame is talking about with Dame Dash Productions, what Tyler Perry's been talking about. It's like, yo, I'll be able to reap the benefits. I'll be able to go build an entire fucking studio on Confederate land if I can just have some cash flow to get to make, if this project makes just enough to allow me to make the next one. And then the next one, I'm still in the red though. Technically, I'm still in the breaking even. I'm still in the fucking red because of whatever I shelled out of pocket in the meantime. It's a really small scale in comparison to Netflix, but I'm looking at that going, damn, if they got to up their subscriptions and then you go by 2022, they need to get to $40 a month. Oh, they really in the red then, for sure. Like they can't, it's not sustainable.
Completely. I mean, but people of color have to like they would have to like do things way harder than it is for the dominant group. You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunately how the system was put together and is working perfectly fine, where it's not really meant for you to be able to break away from what it is that they have already in hand. But that's the reason why the select few that do it, it's automatically like we need to figure out a way to trash them to the people that we're holding down already to make sure that they can't approach our group. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like how it's leveled out. So I definitely get the frustration and all that. You know what I mean? Because that's the system operating exactly how it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like Netflix, they're not going to allow Netflix to fail. Like it's no fucking way they're going to allow that to fail. Only because it created this next wave of everything that's going on right now. Like it was the blueprint for everything that has now had to fall in place with it. But it is the grandfathered in version of that. You know what I mean? So that's why all these pluses are coming out and all these, like, TV has to make an adjustment. I just saw Discovery Plus is coming out now. Like, I just see all these things are, like, shifting, and they were trying to hold steady for the longest before they realized, bro, we are going to go bankrupt fucking around with y'all. Let's move over to the streaming shit. Netflix been there, chilling. So that's the reason why they have this operation. Like they can just, because somebody's going to always put more money into that idea because it was the original concept. All you have to do is work. It has the name brand. Same thing with the iPhone. iPhone has the name brand, bro. Like they have so much of the market. The ecosystem is unbeaten. That shit is bulletproof. They don't have to be the first one to the party introducing something to you. At all. Y'all introduce that shit. We are going to take 4 or 5 years before we introduce that into our ecosystem. But best believe we're going to buy the company that's the best at that shit. Yeah. We're going to add it to our ecosystem. And y'all ain't never going to break out this motherfucker because this is how, like, we have the standard. You know
these are the conversations that's being had. Like, when we were watching that roundtables at the studios, G, that's what it felt like. It felt like every other studio was like, we got to know how the fuck you're doing it. And where you hire, and I guess that's the only reason why the increase is like laughable, because the other studios are panicking because they just can't keep up. But what are you trying to keep up with if they just broke? And they're literally just going, hey, if we can outlast these niggas, we can acquire all this shit. Disney Plus, y'all gonna make it? Is Disney Plus gonna go? Yo, we can keep going. We can go in a red for a decade. We can literally justify being in a red for a decade. Can Disney Plus afford that? And Disney Plus? You go, yeah, they can. Nah, they can't. Nah, they're not gonna play the game.
They already let go employees and some else.
See what I'm saying?
They
so you looking
at nets right now.
You looking at the networks that are looking at Netflix and looking at Amazon, going, yo, how the fuck are y'all just throwing that much money at the creatives and getting out of their way and not trying to dictate everything? And it's like, nah, they just taking the L on everything and investing in the back end, and the big wigs don't operate like that.
The other thing I think about all the time, Netflix secretly is rich. And the reason I say they're rich is since they've been doing the streaming shit so long, they have so much data on everybody.
That is very important, yeah.
Like they can come up with a completely different marketing company, not under the Netflix name, and be like, this is what you have to do to market to this group of people, and it's going to work.
Well, they already.
I don't want to get killed for saying that.
We out there now.
Yeah.
So you're right, bro. All this shit is just really, really infuriating in the landscape of the value of money. The money don't have no value for real.
And
the IP is where all the value is, and watching these kids get fucked left and right out of their creativity is just it's the most heartbreaking shit in the world. So
you know money doesn't have value just by the deal that HBO did with Warner Brothers. I really feel like because when, for example, like when a Wonder Woman movie comes out, how much does that gross? They tell us the numbers all the time, 400 million, whatever.
In the US, yeah.
So now we're just gonna put it on HBO Max. We're gonna put it in the theaters too. How many people are really gonna go to the theaters if it's on
HBO Max?
It's like you're willing to give up that 400 million or whatever the fuck that you make on your drop.
Yeah, but with the theaters though, they have to though. Like the companies that release these, like that's been a one trick pony that's been working for so damn long. But unfortunately, it just was not pandemic proof. Like if we can ever get out of a pandemic, then hopefully that something like that would come back or whatever. But in the meantime, they're like it's better for us to get what we can from what we've already filmed, and then make adjustments to future. Like future budgets or like how we're putting the shit out or whatever. Let's think about that shit now, because in case we don't know how much longer this is going to be taking place, where individual states are going to have their own rules on gatherings. Like we can release it in theaters, but we can release it like in Las Vegas right now, but we can't release it in California.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, but California is one of our largest markets. You know what I'm saying? So we're like, fuck, we're cutting so much money on this idea. Listen, we have to. Like, if we don't, then we're about to lose that whole department. And we have so much content in that one department. It's crazy. Let's put that shit somewhere in the meantime and then figure this shit out afterwards.
What happens when you drop it and you still have to dismantle that department though?
Yeah.
That's the part that niggas can't fuck with Netflix on.
Yeah.
And you keep asking like, yo, what's the formula? What's the formula? And it's just like, yo, bet on IP for and plan on not to make nothing for 5 years. Can you do that? Oh, you can? Can you do it for 10? Can you do it for 15? And they're like, nah, I ain't got that, Playboy.
Yeah, and all the public knows is like, all they know is like their drugs. That's it.
That's
like,
it.
They know that feed my addiction. That's it. At all costs, feed my addiction. But Netflix is low-key feeding your addiction without you even knowing that shit. Like, you still go in there and watch them badass movies and badass shows, and while in between waiting for like a Stranger Things or Ozark to come on. You know what I mean? Just because they're more so banking on the fact that your boredom will lead you to this amazing name, because Netflix is an amazing marketing name. And when they did that whole Netflix and chill, it was a wrap. That's like your song going viral on TikTok. Like you're always gonna be stapled in as being known from how big Netflix and chill was, bro. Like you're not
breaking the pop culture like
ain't
that.
nobody about to fight that shit. Good luck.
Yeah. Nah, that's
why I find it laughable. My bad. I just find it laughable that folks believe that somehow, some way, Netflix is vying for position with these other companies that are scrambling right now.
No, it's the complete opposite. It's the other way around. Like those companies are vying for that. In similar parallel universes, but in the same world, all the shit. I think we're gonna get a clearer view as to how aligned they are. In music, a lot happened in music this week. Ashanti and Keisha Cole were announced for the next Versus matchup. That's way bigger than we think. Chance, there's turmoil in the Chance the Rapper camp. Not necessarily turmoil, just business. But I think interesting. If I don't know if you guys got to read that, what's happening in that case. But again, back to some streaming shit is very important, and for Netflix too, because it's all centered around those deals. Something else happened in music too. I'm missing. But those two specifically, right?
Are you talking about like?
Oh my gosh, the feds sweeping everything, and it's only gonna get worse. Like that's not. I hope people don't think it's gonna get better. Hope Casanova and company, the whole crew
and co.
Sheesh, praying for y'all. What was it? 19 people were arrested in that sweep. G Herbo and crew. I don't know how many people were arrested in that sweep. That it's just sad, man, because it's survival. And I know people are gonna dismiss it on some rap shit and entertainment and celebrity and all that. Nah, these is real ass people that are facing real ass Fed time, and it's ain't nothing cool about it. So praying for those individuals.
PPP scams,
man.
Yeah, be on alert,
man.
They got y'all through the last 8 months.
Sheesh.
I hope that was worth it.
And then, but back to the Versus shit. Mm-hmm. The Versus, I get so involved talking about this because it's everybody's favorite thing right now, and no one's talking about the business of it, bro. It's fucking brilliant. Like, didn't cost a lot to put on and produce. It's like, yo, niggas is at home. The DJ that went viral for making like having everybody hit his Cash App with $1. Like, you see that and you going, wait, there's a void here. Swiss and Tim just happen to occupy particular positions to be able to call certain people and get some shit done. And they start getting these battles done. And if you look at the order in which they're picking, they just got a really solid team that's doing the analytical work and like paying attention to the data and going, all right, whenever we do the verses, that's the women, the numbers look different. Because where women may not necessarily show up for RZA and Primo, the world was there for Gucci and Jeezy, so it's different. But Brandy and Monica felt different. So how we recreate that feeling? And so you go Ashanti and Keisha, you go, damn, couldn't think of nobody else. But then when you see how polarizing the conversation was, and like, okay, now because of the numbers that Jeezy and Gucci did, and before that they secured the Apple deal. What they said secured the Apple deal, was that before Patty and Gladys, or was it?
It was before, right?
I think it was before then.
Because
Snoop and DMX
was like the first, right?
No. Hell no.
I think
hell no.
I think the
Oh, Snoop and DMX were the first ones with Apple. No way.
Were they? No.
No, whatever the battle was before Snoop and DMX, I believe was the. No, you're right.
The Afro one, right?
Beanie Man
and Bounty Hunter.
That was the one that they switched over to. Like, I think after that one was the Apple one.
So DMX, you're right. It was DMX and Snoop was Apple.
Yeah, because that was their last piece of, like, I'm pretty they already had that in the bag, but the last PLC.
Where was Fab and Jada? Was it Fab Jada?
Fab Jada was a while ago.
Beanie Man, Bounty Hunter and Beanie Man, and then
they wasn't Beanie Man and Bounty the first time they were in the same room together? Like the people were? I can't remember.
I thought Jada and Fab were, but I could be wrong.
Fab was in the same room.
But who was
they
first?
Were in the same room.
Yeah, they were in the same room, but who was first?
I think Fab and Jada. I'm almost
I think Fab and Jada was before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, going off on a tangent.
Because from there is when the numbers started going like sky high.
But just again, the business of it. And we talk about it all the time, just like IP, POC, like going here. No, this is a thing. This is a system. This is how you plug in and leverage it, how you grow it, how you scale it. This is how this works. And I'm just watching. It's hard to consume as a fan when so much of it is just like, yo, it's really big business happening right now. Watching Gucci and Jeezy was like, it was hard because of all the other shit, but I was like, yo, this is big ass business happening right now. Like the whole time I was watching that shit, it was like, damn, the Ciroc placements, the Apple placements, both Jeezy and Gucci dropping projects the very next day. They're gonna do press runs. It's like, god damn, this feels crazy. And so the Keisha and Ashanti, it's like I can't really do the pick the winner thing with you because I'm so enamored on what business plays are gonna happen from there. Which one of them has music ready? Which one of them has anything to roll out? Like, are they scrambling right now to get everything ready? Like, I don't know. I'm fascinated by that though, but not to completely contaminate the conversation. Have y'all been able to go, I got a winner, or y'all not invested like that?
For me, it's two different ways I feel like it can win. Either one. Because I feel like, for me personally now, Keisha is a stronger singer.
Oh, yeah.
So if we go off the terms of music and songs and singing, I feel like Keisha's going to win. But then I feel like if we go off of most popular hits, and not just among women, but like just of overall, and just like in pop culture with everybody tuning in, then I feel like Ashanti will win. But either way, I got it 12-8.
12-8. You got a good close one, guy.
Yeah. No, I haven't got too far into as far as like the scoring of it, but
yeah, this is personal for you. You can't pick against the town, can you?
No, never that.
Okay,
but
you can't pick against the East.
But I think for 20 songs though, I think Keisha has a stronger 20 songs. Like through the entire 20, I think overall she's ahead on that part. But I think Ashanti has some good bangers. She's gonna have to spread them out. I wouldn't put them all in the beginning because it's gonna be a long night for her.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm like,
because if she put whatever she got and then Keisha put Love, that should scratch out of there.
There's not a single thing that Ashanti has that can beat Love, right?
Fuck no.
Or not even Rain on Me can beat Rain on Me.
Rain on Me
versus
is
Love.
Rain on Me is
Rain
tough,
on Me,
but
Love head to head. What do you have?
Love.
I love.
Yeah, I think I do too. I think
that's what I'm saying. She better save
especially
her
with
bangers.
that.
Rain on Me versus. It's got to be Love, right?
Yeah.
So that's how
Rain on Me is hard though, but it's just
That's how I started doing it, and I was like, when you start getting head to head for your smashes, Keisha's winning the smash. Am I tripping? So yeah, once I started doing that, I was like, damn, I might be biased. So,
like, the only thing is are they allowed to play shit that they wrote and the hooks and all that shit? Because like Ashanti does have a lot of hooks that she did, but then it's like it's 15.
That's a part of it, but I think that it really depends on sequencing and like on the first half, the first 10. The only way to keep it close is that they have to have Keisha go first. Because if Keisha goes first, then Ashanti can figure out what the hell she's gonna play.
I see what you're saying. If Ashanti
goes first,
because whoever goes second kind of gets to dictate the energy.
Initially.
Yeah.
Because that first 10 is very important for people that don't have as many, like as long of a catalog.
But that's why Jada was able to pick Fab apart like that, because he was just like, oh, this where you going? All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. But see, the first half, Jada went first, right?
And then they switched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Fab just didn't know his catalog.
Yeah.
Nah, Fab
Got sucked into the game that Jada wanted to play. That's what really happened.
Fab should have just went to Soul Tape.
Should have for sure went to
Just went to
Soul
Soul
Tape.
Tape. Okay. All right. So we're in agreement. I'm curious to what the world is thinking. Like it's not even. This is another one of those that feel closer than it actually is. But I got fucking I got Keisha. I don't want to say washing her because I got 12-8 too. So that's not a wash. Nah, that's not a wash. Huh. All right. Did you? You had it in your notes too. Chance the Rapper, and his manager, his initial manager Pat. Shout out to Pat too. I was a big fan of him, and everything he had cooking, and like how they built sort of that whole infrastructure in and around Chance.
Mm-hmm. Was he his manager the whole time?
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah. How they started,
like from the mixtapes.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so he had him all the way up to the big day.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, G, the business and the fallout of it. So the Netflix deal, the Apple deal, and then when you start to bring in, well, if you're a Chance, I feel like the natural progression is to go, all right, nigga, we lit. I can position my brother, I can position my pops, I can position all these different people in and around, and then you start to go, well, what do we need you for?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, which is a fair question. Not sure I'd ask it, but a fair question. You start to go, well, nigga, what we need you for? If we coming up with all the ideas and this and that and that and that, and you're not really appreciating what that person is doing behind the scenes. And so what you start to see in the details of the lawsuit is that there was a significant amount of money that accumulated from the deals. I want to assume it's the Netflix deal for the show with Cardi and T.I. And then whatever the big day workout was for what Apple or whomever that deal was with.
Mm-hmm.
Pat's point in that and it's not funny, but his point was
funny.
His point was it's like, nah, fam, you're not focused enough, and it's too short amount of time to make the caliber of record that is needed for where you are in your career right now.
Mm-hmm. Where people have you right now.
Where people have you. You're on the ropes. This is a pivotal performance. Coloring Book. Did y'all enjoy Coloring Book or no? Where we are at with Coloring Book?
I had highlights.
I was about to say there were songs I liked, but overall,
it's not an acid rap.
Okay, so can we fairly ask that question? If acid rap was in what year? 16?
Was it
15? Might have been 15.
It was definitely before, yeah.
it probably like 15. It had to be 15 or 14 because Troy Ave was popping. So you know it was a minute.
You're a sick fuck. I'm gonna let you live. I don't even want to know why you said Troy Ave.
Because I just always think about, because remember Troy Ave had the whole thing where he was calling them a
weirdo, yeah,
and then they were both in the XXL.
Yeah.
Everybody always talked about that, the energy of Troy Ave calling him a weirdo, calling him a user the whole time that they were in the room together.
So if you're Pat the manager, Lex, you've been in management roles, and you're going, hey, we're lit name wise, and anytime you do a feature, but project, it's time to deliver on a project. We haven't delivered since Acid Rap. And you keep getting nudged aside and keep getting told like, yo, we got enough time, and you going, no, it's not enough time. What do you do in that situation? What would your response be?
And see, I kind of feel Pat on that. Like, yeah, I tried. Like, there's no. Here's the thing. Like, even for as an artist, it's like, yeah, I'm here to manage you, but if you don't want to listen to me, and then it still fails, you still blame me. It's like
You're the coach. The coach doesn't get the credit for winning, but gets all the blame for losing.
Yeah.
The management, huh? What do you do as a man?
Are you calling Chance Paul George?
Oh, no, because Chance hasn't publicly blamed Pat for anything. So I can't call like that shit with Paul George was I'm
That's nutso.
yeah, that was crazy. So as long as Chance don't go around start blaming niggas, we good.
That'll be the second year in a row because he for sure blamed Dame taking a bad shot the year before.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
But I'm with him as well. I'm with him as well. But it does beg the question. So if he was doing a specific release with Apple, did that increase like the time frame? So like instead of being like how on independent terms you release when you want, did that give him a specific deadline now? Like it wasn't no pushing it back because you have other people in line on like the pocket end of things for the big day. Like were they deadline induced? You know what I mean?
I'm sure that there was, but I'm sure that there was also room for negotiation in that, and probably what
was the deal already done though? Because I think what Pat was saying in there was that this stuff was happening behind his back. So like as opposed to him being the one that was on the front lines of putting all these deals together, this was when he stepped out and did his own deal, and this sounds like he didn't know the parameters of it. So it sounds like
that Pat didn't, or that Chance
that Pat didn't know what Chance's mind was at, and it sounds like Chance did his own thing real quick, and rushed hella shit at once when seeing certain amount of money coming in, which sounds like it's one of these type of situations. So that's interesting. That's interesting because if there was a deadline, and this is for the first time in his career, he's thinking deadline, and he hasn't done the actual work for it, then yes, that's a complete indictment on the artist in that moment. But I don't know if that's let's say
that it isn't.
Okay.
They're all in the meeting together, and Apple is presenting that, and just like, and Pat's like, nah, it's too soon. And Chance is like, nah, we could do it. And you're like, nah, bro, you about to get married. You got the show going on. You got this. It's just not enough time. You need to be able to focus completely unplugged to make the record that you need, because coloring book missed. The Donnie Trumpet shit missed. We need a record. We need a record now.
Yeah. And then he say, I sold 3 million 3 hats. Ain't what you talking about? They about to fuck with the big day.
And I got a Grammy off a mixtape.
And I got a Grammy off a mixtape.
So that's what the fuck do you know? So do you got a Grammy off a mixtape?
And that's essentially that's what it sounds like. It's what it feels like. It's happening.
That's the conversation.
That's what it feels like is happening
in front of the big wigs.
Yeah.
So y'all already got like a line through the camp in front of the people that are giving like the money or whatever. So I feel like that's what it's like.
And if you're, to your point, G, if you're a Chance, you just did an arena. You just did arenas. You're selling these hats. You win a Grammy, to Lex's point. And the show is lit, and anytime anybody calls you for a feature, you murder the shit. I don't know, man.
And I'm in love.
And I'm in love too.
Yeah. Just bought a house, man.
Nobody wants to hear a happy in love rapper at all.
Bro, I just did contemporary dance. Man, what you talking about? My nigga was out there doing toe spins on the Yeezys in that one video.
All right, man. This nigga's, man.
Bro.
I don't know. I don't even know. I saw it and wanted to discuss it with y'all just because I immediately contrary to what I thought I thought I would immediately sided with Chance, and I was like, nah, I'm kind of with Pat on this one. But that's just per the details that have been displayed. Maybe there's other shit going on. Maybe there's some other weird money shit that we don't know about. But I was like, damn, acid rap was a long time ago. And if your manager's like, nah, we need a record, and you like, dog, but I'm lit and I'm still nice for real, I just ain't tripping like that. So maybe Chance just ain't tripping like that.
What color is his manager?
Pat is white.
Pat is white? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he in trouble. He in trouble.
Who?
Chance.
What you mean?
That nigga about to get whatever he asking for.
You think so?
If that should have go to court, then he about to get whatever.
He asking for $3 million.
He about to get that.
You think so?
That's an unfortunate hit in my nigga in his pockets. If he got, because I best believe he was covering his track. So if he got like the text messages and all this other shit, then yeah, he might as well fork that over. Cause I did see that they were trying to get that they were trying to give the 350 or some shit like that. Not to get into the pockets things, but they was trying to give over some money just to like not have to go to.
Oh, trying to settle.
Yeah, trying to settle before going into court or whatever. But he was like, nah, nigga, I want my issue.
I'm not settling.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking, like, what color was, bro? Because, like, once it hits the court system, bro, it's, hey, my nigga, that shit written in stone, my nigga, you losing money.
Staying with courts and rappers and shit, the sweep. What do you, Lex, what is your take on that many rappers going down that consecutively and it all being gang enhancement charges for the most part? Like, I think G Herbo shit was tied to some financial shit, but that just sounds like, to G's point, the scams and shit. Like, what was your take?
I had two separate takes. Like, I know we're in a pandemic, and so, you know, in the pandemic, like, it's something me and you talked about. The wolves is going to come down from the mountains.
Yeah.
And if they can put any type of celebrity with this gang, I don't know exactly if there's notoriety. Yeah, for, you know, the group that does that. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing that comes to mind is with the new, as far as the game of politics and money. So if the new president and VP really are going to come there and start messing with people's budgets, we need to have proof that our budget needs to be this big. And so then look at the type of groups that we just arrested.
Oh, you talking about the end of the year shit? Yeah. 100%.
So,
the surplus for departments and shit, like they had to.
And they're already talking about how they want to start taking money from a lot of these and saying this. So it's like, we just did 2 big busts. Like, that's proof that we need this surplus of capital, and we need a little bit more. Because we would have did 3, but we didn't have enough funds to do the 3rd in paying people with manpower. Yeah. So
I hadn't considered that point, if I'm being honest, but it is the end of the year. It's right on time, literally right on time, and then the way the holiday schedules are for court cases, like, niggas gonna have to sit to the top of the year. That's the other scary part. Like, if they can't make bail or if they don't offer them bail, like, a lot of them are gonna have to sit through the holidays, which is so sad.
Judge gone till January 5th.
Easy. G, did that shit come across your radar at all? Any of those Casanova, G Herbo, now Young M.A.?
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Like I said, with the FBI and all that shit, bro, they be sitting on shit for a minute, bro. Like, you be thinking that you getting away with shit, and this is not like saying that they actually did in these things. I don't know that shit.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, you give them a reason to be on the radar, and they are just like sitting back and putting together the entire case for your ass. So that part sucks because it's not a quick, swift form of action. So like a lot of folks that, and it doesn't put you in the best like situation either, because it's not like you're on the best terms financially as a group. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's not like they're giving you a fair shot at legal forms of doing things around here. You know what I'm saying? So with that being the case, what are your options when you try to feed your family? You feel me? So with that in line, it doesn't match up well, and it doesn't sit well with me the way that it's set up. Because I wouldn't say that in a lot of these situations these are terrible people. I would say that these are people that are dealing within the means that they have afforded to them, and they're getting something from the deal. And it's like, bro, you gotta look at how, like, it's not talked about enough how crazy white collar crime is. Like,
Man.
we be talking about all the wrong shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this the shit that crosses like the radar, and you start telling people they should have been doing different things when they got into a certain line of work. Kiss my ass. Not true. Not true at all. You do what the fuck you want to do, and you live with the consequences. That's really what it is. So I can't tell people that. I can't tell people not to hurt your brethren.
Yeah.
So I can't say like can't be killing our own.
Yeah.
Like there's enough folks doing that shit for us.
Yeah.
I can say that, but I can't tell you how to try to get your bread.
Get your chicken.
You feel me? I can't say that shit. So I ain't got no words on that.
Man, I struggle with this because
This shit is corrupt, bro. Like this entire thing is corrupt.
Yeah.
There's not a big business that didn't do some shit corrupt.
Thank you, G.
So don't be getting mad at like individuals for trying to do some shit off of the scraps of what somebody else did already that ain't got away with that just because they a different skin tone. I know y'all both can help me with this.
Maybe the last 3 weeks or so, maybe even a little bit longer. I'm so proud to be a rapper. Like I love that shit. However, I fully understand why young up and comers and OGs who are trying to leverage notoriety, fame, go sit down with DJ Vlad. I'm not mad at them for that. I never thought I would say that out loud. Like I get it. What happens to their likeness, their platforms or whatever, like their ability to book and earn, what happens from their appearance on that show is insane. From a monetary standpoint, like immediately, Faison Love's name is everywhere.
Man.
Like everywhere. When was the last time you fucking thought about Faison Love?
Bro, funny ass story. I was in San Diego, and we used to do these San Diego trips to like this tournament out there that was co-ed, like in high school, because it was a co-ed tournament, and we all stayed at the same hotel. So like you just have to have a floor, basically. So it'll be an all guy floor, all women floor, all guy floor, all women floor. So this was wild for like 3 straight years. But we went to there, I think like the second year we was out there, and this man, Faison Love, was at the hotel checking in, but was trying to act as if he wasn't himself, and he was going completely overboard by like taping up his shoes, bro. Like he put duct tape on his shoes, and like tried to look like bummy and shit like that. And we was like, bro, what are you doing? And I just found that shit to be hella funny, bro, because like this nigga was obviously,
Bro, you're a big worm, bro. You're never. There's nothing you can do.
My nigga was acting hard too, like acting hard. I was like, bro, I'm not like, no, it's not.
That's comedy.
But yeah,
and when I say I can understand, this isn't me stamping it, but in the name of trying to earn, what's off limits then? Right? Like, is anything off limits at that point? we just said it, can't tell people how to earn their money, and I don't aspire to be that person that's looking down on anyone that's just trying to figure it out. But do I have an obligation to say fuck Vlad every chance I get? I'm asking that seriously. Am I obligated to say that?
Yeah, if that's how you feel, man.
If the spirit moves you.
No, that's how I feel. Because I feel he's single-handedly. And I mean this shit. I feel he's single-handedly responsible for the continued death of the continued death and arrest of young black men in the realm of hip hop. I do. I genuinely feel that way.
I just hate his interview style, man. I hate him sitting behind that damn camera and that camera being on a person like an interrogation. And they do that shit every single time. I just cannot stand it.
Gee, they do it that way. You hear his voice, but then he also goes, "You lost your dad at such and such age. Tell me more about that. How does that make you feel? How did you feel losing your best friend at 15? How did you feel that you had to? Who the fuck are you? And why does it sound like you getting your rocks off asking these young black men about the trauma that they've endured?"
He's touching his piece during that?
He has to be.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. You fucking freak.
On camera, he
Little
could be.
dirty debutante.
I thought you was going with devil, but you
A dirty debutante is crazy.
Hey, you took my mind out of there, bro.
Oh man. No, that's
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, man. I definitely agree. That's that bullshit. But yeah, hopefully everybody beats whatever charges they have on them, and it gives you different perspective when you're moving out here. Just know that folks be watching. Feds be watching.
They be watching. What else do we have?
I'm for Tiana saying that she's retiring. I'm for
I knew it was other music shit.
I'm for that.
This is back to the label shit though.
Yeah.
By all aesthetics, Tiana's got the golden situation.
It's hard to believe that there's that many people that's that creative around Tiana, and has seen her be who she is this entire time, like each elevated level of herself, and somehow, some way, does not back her. Like, I don't see, there's not one person of creative background on that end of things that has come to Tiana's aid.
But gee,
I'm so confused by that.
How can they back her when they're in slave deals too?
They can't band together? Voltron? No Voltron?
No. Ain't no Voltron when you signed everything away. You're not making Kanye's not making no money off music.
Ain't there a way around it though?
How? Between Def Jam,
they own
Universal.
They own everything of like your likeness, right? Like of like they have specific things within the contract. So it would be like what there are a certain amount of albums that she has. Is it her auntie stuff? Auntie production got to be hers, separate from what she's given to the label, right?
G.
No.
G.
Damn. Yeah, I'll quit. Fuck y'all.
Exhibit A.
I would quit.
I'm retiring because this shit is fucked.
Because you don't get all my IPs. Like you get that. Like if you have Tiana Taylor, if you have Tiana music, then bet. But you don't get like me producing for other people's shit.
Yes, they do.
Nah, you don't get that.
Yep.
Nah, I didn't see that on the contract.
So
You're gonna be like, oh, it's right here.
Nah, I didn't.
Ta-da.
Nah, I didn't sign that. That's not my signature.
So you either struggle and you either struggle mightily and not sign, or you sign and you get the insulation and the protection of being signed, and then ultimately arrive at a mental breakdown, or I'm retiring, or pissing on your Grammy, or posting all 20 of your contracts.
Did they submit her album
For the Grammys?
Yeah.
Tiana was on that. She was on there. She was on the initial ballot for sure. She was there.
That's crazy too. That was another one I didn't talk about.
That this was deserving.
That was missing. That and all them videos that she shot for that damn album, man. That shit was impressive. So I'm giving you flowers, Tiana.
Who cares?
I'm giving you flowers.
That's the question, G.
True.
Do all that work and ultimately to have them go, who the fuck cares?
Hey.
You're not an industry darling because we can't talk to you crazy and tell you to do stuff. You still coming in here like you got some say so.
Mm. Oh, so you're saying this was in spite?
It's gotta be.
Damn.
How can anybody see her output and not, to your point, and not support her? Nah, she represents the idea of her represents too much liberation for creatives.
Not only output, the quality.
The quality. That's what I mean.
That's
what I mean.
Crazy.
That's what I mean. That Tiana not doing nothing mid
at all.
Solange not doing nothing mid.
Not at all.
Weekend ain't doing nothing mid.
Mm-mm.
We talking about black creatives that's pulling up. It's like, no, I'm here and everything gonna be Toby been on a
Toby has been on a run. Toby's putting out hella shit, bro. I didn't realize like how much music is coming out of his camp.
The joint with him and D Smoke yesterday. Him, Royce, and fucking.
I saw the Royce and Black Thought.
And Black Thought.
That shit is crazy.
And then the week before that, him, Duckworth and Olu from fucking Earth. Like, yo.
And then how long ago was the him and
Crit? 2020? You got the pandemic.
Crit. That was in this run.
Yeah.
Him and Crit was in this run.
That's all in the same like 4-pack or 5-pack. But he has like 5 different pandemic packs.
And he looked happier than ever. Guess what? He did it himself though. He was afforded to do it himself. Like that's the part. Some of my friends who have been signed, who I've been going, Lexon, you've been there for that, but I'm like, man, that such and such is lit. Like I want to be like them, and they like, no, nigga, you doing it right. Keep going. I'm like okay, purgatory. That's what I was alluding to with the Netflix shit.
Mm-hmm.
This past week, if I'm being honest with my niggas, was really tough. Nothing bad happened. It's just like a head fog. Like there's so much shit happening and not happening at the same time. And it's like, oh, by the way, we about to lock this bitch down again. All right, cool. For whatever reason, I got a group of partners that can kind of feel when shit is and just reach out, be like, hey, my nigga, I appreciate you. Keep going. This shit hard. And I'm talking about like friends who were there at the beginning. Like one of the first engineers I ever worked with reached out this week. He was like, my nigga, I'm proud of you. First video people I ever worked with. It's like, yo, you got that shit lit. Keep going. And you like, I can't sell a project to save my life. It's like, nah, nigga, but you got all the shit. Like, keep it lit. Like, I don't know how sustainable that is to just keep making shit, but the luxury and the liberation is like what, the grass is greener wherever you water it. So my homies that have deals and got situations, got proper, representation in line, I'm like, man, y'all got to lit. They're like, no, nigga, trying to come fuck with you though. Like, damn, it's just a crazy thing. So when you go Tiana, you go, yo, it's good music. It's like, nah, she was signing for real. Like, she got to be happy. It's like, nah, bro, but that's a real creative we're talking about that just wants to continue to y'all point, make high quality shit through and through, whether it be in front of the camera or behind the camera. She's a builder, an architect.
Mm-hmm.
And to not be respected as such, to not be insulated as such and supported as such, some of the most heartbreaking shit to witness when time and time again, she's provided the most insane experiences, whether you're talking sonically, we're talking visually, and just moments. And it's like, and again, I could be personalizing it and being sensitive to the creative, but it seems like an American thing. Like if Tiana was in Africa, if she was in fucking Canada, for crying out loud, if she was anywhere but here, she'd be protected and supported and seen as such. But for whatever reason here, it's like we'll find another muse. And it's so disheartening. I laughed about that shit all last week because y'all niggas fully called me out on not wanting to say it, and it's like it fits, right?
If you want them to hear you,
if you
say some shit is disheartening.
Say it's disheartening,
bro. You can hear a pin drop when you drop that. When you drop that word, bro.
Man, Tiana, we do love you, regardless of what the people say about this show. Now, we do love you. I promise you, Kevin Hart. I love you, man. Bro, I'm gonna keep it going, bro. I'm not gonna allow you to end this beef. I randomly just during the week I go, man, I really love Kevin Hart. The narratives out there now that I don't fuck with him, and it's like that's totally not the truth. So I'm gonna see Kev one day manifesting that.
Oh, you gonna see him?
I'm gonna see him.
You gonna see him though.
And he gonna I'm gonna see him be like, Kev, he gonna be like, nigga, fuck you. Like immediately. He'd be like, damn, you right, I earned that. Like, cause you know what it is? You know what's so annoying about it?
Y'all gonna square shoulders?
Nah, I wouldn't square up with Kev.
Yeah, that
maybe
would
I would actually.
That wouldn't be fair.
Kev ain't gonna square with you. He gonna pay a nigga.
Nah, Kev is square up. I feel like Kev ain't no sucker though. I feel like he is square up. I feel like he would. You don't think he would?
Nah, but I don't think Boss is too far on.
No. Boss is for sure squaring up. Like that. Don't ever get that fucked up.
I don't think Boss is too far.
Yeah. What's frustrating is all the times we talked about anybody on the show, but Kev specifically, and no one gave a fuck. And so now it's the one time where it's like being critical, and now it's like, oh, y'all don't fuck. I'm like, bro,
that's how it go.
This is so stupid.
That's how it go.
Now I gotta own it every time, like on principle, because people is coming from me. I'm like, now I gotta. That's really how that shit work. To your point of getting catching the fade online. Now on principle, now I gotta shoot. It's so stupid.
So simple as that.
It is so dumb, man. What do we have? Lex.
Yes, sir.
How do you deal with stress and multitasking? That was a question from somebody?
Shit, me.
Oh, from you? Okay. G, you want to take that? Or you want me to go first?
Nah, go for it.
I think I just alluded to it though.
Yeah,
I just said it. Like everybody is like, yo, how you keep having like such dope shit? And it's like, dog, the only way I can make sense of any of this, especially when I'm feeling stressed, is to keep creating. For me, is to keep creating. And I was thinking about it. I was on my B Rabbit moment. I thought about it all night whether to talk about this, but I got to talk about it because it's the point of the show, and it's back to the Kevin Hart shit. Shout out to TJ Reynolds and all the family in Indianapolis. A few of them do listen to the pod, so it's hopefully you laughed the way I have been the last few days. But Oreo Jones and Sirius Black, myself, and then Rhyme Fest were on the Cross Pollination Twitch show, and having the dopest conversation. I'm like, oh, this is going well. Rhyme Fest shows up, like 40 minutes into the conversation maybe, and it's Rhyme Fest. Like how niggas who never met him would expect him to be. He's exactly like that. Energy, pure light, hilarious. Is like, oh, this is so dope. And he gets asked a question. He's like, I could tell you better in a rap. And it was so tight. I'm like, oh, this is fire. But whenever you're getting asked to be on a show, have a rap ready. Just have a rap ready. Just do it. But I asked that like a week before, like, yo, do we need to present anything? Nothing cool? Just show up, have a conversation? Bet. I could talk all day. Man, Rhyme Fest kicked that rap, and then we start talking. We get hella far away from the rap, and TJ goes, hey, that shit was tight. Think we can get a verse from y'all? And I'm like, yeah. And immediately I'm like, oh my gosh, what fucking rap? Like, so, but then the one that I picked was one that I knew I had it down packed. Like, I just knew I had it. So Oreo goes, Sirius Black goes, and then it's Monty kicking hard. No, after Oreo went, I was just gonna start rapping. Bruh, niggas start like talked on the first half of my rap. And I was like, oh no. But it was the most humbling shit, and I just thought about bombing. Why the fuck did I start talking about that? Oh, the stress part. Yeah. Part of the conversation in that show though was like, yo, the output this year has been so dope. It's been such quality from Grand National, Concrete Violet, your solo shit. What is it? And it's like, dog, like, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Mm-hmm. like literally, like there's I've been fortunate enough to carve out this space of creativity from the studio, whether it be creating here, creating at home, creating with others. I was loving the rapport I was building with the creatives down in LA before quarantine. But it was just this constant fight to express and to be around people who I deemed were the most exceptional expressionists. And whenever that's not happening is when the stress level is at its highest, like to the point where it's crippling. And so when people go, yo man, how you keep going? Why? No, the how do you keep going is not as offensive as the why. Mm. It's like, nigga, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Like the industry as it's structured now in the Bay Area is ass. And I spent the first 5 years when I moved back home complaining about it. All right, nigga, how much you gonna keep complaining, or you gonna do your part to start being a part of this solution? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, fuck, that requires a lot of bandwidth and a lot of work. And go figure. The more you give to something, the more it starts to take shape. So just putting your head down and working and carving out spaces, and that doesn't mean we've completely cracked the code, but damn, if we're not able to kind of get it. I just went on a trip where I took 3 of my best friends to LA to go work on a project. That means something to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I deal is to operate in a solution-based sort of mindset, as opposed to, oh man, this is happening to me, or this is. It's like that'll kill me faster than a little bit of stress will. Like the stress of having a problem solve ain't shit in comparison to the stress of giving up or allowing some shit to just be like. The one thing I don't ever want to happen is, hey, such and such took something from me. Man, look, y'all hear me say, hey, I gotta go sit down. I just caught a case. Like y'all hear anything else before you hear me complain about what another person, but especially another man in this shit did to me. And that right there gives me more stress than anything. Like the thought of quitting, the thought of giving up, because so much work has been done. My favorite thing from quarantine, I drew this aerial view of, because we were told that the wolves hunt in formation, so it's just angles, right? Where it's like the alpha of the pack is like on the hills and like damn near following the prey, like line for line. The rest of the pack has taken angles, and it's best represented in an aerial view. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. But there was this one where they were running for a few miles actually, and it's like, nah, you don't give up and quit. Like, we close. Like somebody gonna get tired. It ain't gonna be us, because there's a bunch of us running at these different angles. But the analogy it came up with was like, damn, you covered all that terrain, and because you hit a roadblock, you could pack your shit up and just go home. And the distance that you have to cover twice the distance to go back than you do to keep going. Mm-hmm. You know, and think once I unlocked that for myself, I was no longer attached to always being right. I was no longer attached to the fear that is attached to fumbling and being wrong, or being embarrassed, quote unquote. My niece, I got on there. Kids Never Lie. I spent Saturday night with my nieces, and immediately they said, "Oh, Gotti, what's on your face? What's on your face?" And they ask me every time they see me, and we have these honest conversations in and around my keloids, and but my fucking insecurity that existed before they were born, since they've been born and since they've come of age to talk, they've been a part of my healing and just making peace with the shit. Like, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? But it's because kids are so honest and they don't lie, they just get straight to the shit. And so you find yourself doing the same thing. So now I'm having a conversation I wish I would have with adults that just stare at me sometimes. Because kids do it, but kids gonna have a question with it. Whereas adults just go, God damn, what's on your, you know what I'm saying? And it would be so much easier to have a conversation, but because kids don't lie, I'm having the conversation with them that I wish I would have with adults.
Yeah.
But I'm being long-winded in answering the question, Lex, but all that has contributed to dealing. It's been a lot of acknowledgement. So it's like a really big deal to acknowledge like how last week started off and it kind of carried throughout. And nothing bad happened, nothing catastrophic happened. It was just one of those ones where I couldn't break through that. It's like a film, like a layer, just a haze. And everything, the colors are normally bright, smells and everything. Normally, like, my senses is like kicking. All last week was like, yeah, bro, I'm not feeling shit. But kept recording, kept being in spaces with people I respect, kept having dope ass conversations, and going, well, this is the coping mechanism, is just to keep going, because you got to keep going. You know, as opposed to like picking your ball up and going home because shit ain't going your way. You know, and I'm extremely grateful for that lesson over time, because I haven't always had those tools, but to acquire new tools and to have old scenarios resurface and to use the new tools that you acquired is really the lesson, man. So that's really how I've been trucking along and trying to be as honest as possible. You know, it's not always the easiest thing, but fuck it, I'm here, and what am I gonna do? Like dead ass. Like maybe 3 years ago, that shit from the show with TJ and them would have ruined me. I'm like, nigga, so no, it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, I laughed because I remember the younger version of me, how upset with myself I would have been. Oh, I ruined my moment, my opportunity. I'm not asking nobody for nothing, fam. I'm self-made. Like seriously, that's what the thought process was walking away. It's like, all right. I imagine some of the homies that were watching were embarrassed for me. So I'm sorry to y'all, but I'm okay. You know. Oh, go ahead. That was hella long-winded.
No, that's real. That was the full spectrum of the whole thing to me. A few things that Money said that was super important, I think, was just like the trial and error of everything. I think that we've talked about it before, but the enjoyment of the process, right?
Man.
Is like what can keep you. You're gonna have these dark times, so like let's just get past that part. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you're gonna have dark times. I think people, because the lights are always on. When you go out into the world, the lights are always on. It makes people think that that's the only way that people are operating, because all you're doing is paying attention to people that are doing well in whatever given moment. You know what I'm saying? But like, they're able to go away and they're going to go through things. And in the meantime, somebody else picks up the light and they're back in the forefront, and you see the next person in the forefront, and you're thinking this entire time that people just have it always on. That's not the truth. The truth of the matter is that a lot is made in those dark times for folks, and you're gonna have it. So why not embrace it? You know what I'm saying? And the best way to embrace it is to know that it's something that's possible. Like Kamani said that, like, yes, I kind of had that too when the season changed. You know what I'm saying? And that had
Damn,
nothing.
is that what it was? It was the season.
Yeah, we had a daylight savings that was a darker daylight savings than ones in the past because we've been inside this entire time.
Got it.
So there's just a chemical imbalance that we would have. Like naturally, we would have to more than other years. This one has been such a stressful overall year that it set a lot of people into like a fog, into like in some type of like haze, right? But truth be told, I told somebody, I was like, hey, I'm off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just am. You know, like, I can't tell you when I will stop being off. You know what I'm saying? And that's a different version of me than even like the last few years or whatever that I was dealing with things, because that haze doesn't, you know, that it has different timetables, so you don't tend to factor in that I have to immediately turn around and be great. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I think that's the biggest adjustment that I at least made, and what I've learned about that whole process. And then you just get into the day-to-day, the hour-to-hour things that make sense to you. So like if working makes sense to you, go out and work. You know what I'm saying? If working out makes sense to you, go out and work out. You know what I'm saying? Get your body moving, you know, get out and about. But like as far as like stress happens. Stress is a constant thing. There's not a moment in your day that something or someone is not trying to stress you the fuck out. Man. There ain't one moment. Like you may think that is not, that you ain't stressed at any given moment or things are going great or whatever. Something's trying to stress you out. And it's about your particular mood at that moment that is what makes you either react to it or look past it. Yeah. It's whatever mood you brought into it. So why not continuously work on what your mood is at all times? You know what I'm saying? You put it back into, like, put the ball back into your court that way. And I think I talked about that. I don't know which pod or whatever, but I was talking about like only dealing with things that are within your power, and how that gives you so much more of the power, because you're not out here like, that's why I'm not in other people's business, bro. Like why the fuck am I dealing with your business when I got shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I should just be fucking with my own business and get in tune with my own shit. Thanks. So that when these type of moments, like what just happened with that whole daylight saving shit, when shit like that creeps up, then I can see it as it's happening. Like when it hits me, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in a bit of a fog. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a depression. It's like I'm just not firing right now. So let me do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me go do some shit. And that shit usually for me is like, bro, that means I need to be learning about something that I'm about to maneuver into next. Facts. Because a lot of times that tends to be that maybe some things are kind of stale, or certain things are like has been going a certain type of way for a certain period of time. So you've already learned all the lessons you need to learn in that particular field or that particular deal. And now it's time to maneuver on to something new, so that you can get your creativity, your creative juices flowing again. The next wave of next chapter of your life rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really the indicator is. The indicator just lets you know there's something else that you're ready to move on to, really tell you the truth. So you kind of let that be.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask what brought you to that question?
Somebody had asked me that question, and I didn't know how to answer it. And then I thought about people that do a lot of shit in their lives, and I was like, hey, I'll bring it to the pod and ask you guys.
Yeah, I'm ultimately fascinated by, obviously, you two, and Kevin. There's a handful of people that I'm impressed with that just do a whole bunch of shit, and
Bro, you just gonna keep on trying to get back in Kevin good graces, huh?
No, I wasn't talking about Kevin Hart. Oh, that's funny. Oh, fuck. That's hilarious. No.
I'm fucking with you.
Well, him too. Shit.
They out here calling by first name basis, bro. Like there ain't other Kevins out there.
That's hella funny. Kevin, my nigga Kevin Allen, my bro.
Nah, I'm fucking with you.
It's the resurgence of the Renaissance men and women. It's the flyest shit in the world, bruh. And there is this idea of master something. I hear that. I respect those who do. However, I feel like we're from a particular time and space where just out of pure necessity, we've had to acquire other things, and through acquiring other tools, you go, yo, I have other interests too. And things that pique your interest that all are sort of wrapped in a fucking one. Like they're not too far from each other. That's what we're talking about with John Favreau and Rodriguez. Yeah, like, yeah, I do all. That's what it was. John Favreau was saying, yo, I remember when you got on my ass for not editing my own shit, for hiring editors to edit my films. That's like giving, that's like making the food and then it was I forget the analogy he used, but I was like, damn, I never even thought about it like that, because there's so many negative connotations for people who do like to do everything. And not in a non-collaborative sort of way. Like I collaborate on everything it is that I do, like every single thing. Like, it isn't just a money show. And I appreciate that part of it. It's like just wanting to create these pockets of team building and teamwork. And that's also a part of the multitasking element too, where it's like it's delegating, but it's trust. Trusting the fact that the people that you're collaborating with are going to show up and care the same way that you do, or show up and once you go separate ways are thinking about it and caring the way that you are. It's like that's enough for me. Like the fact that I found that many people that care about the same shit that I'm into is like it's hella. It's just cool. It's just cool at the end of the day. But the tool of acknowledging how your own personal chemistry works, and then being able to articulate it to people you're sharing space with, bruh. If that ain't some of the richest shit in the world, man, and that I'm so happy about. But I'm also happy about the people who are providing the space for me to go, yo, this is who I am. This is where I'm at right now. This is what's going on. And ultimately doing the work of not personalizing it, like, because it rarely ever is personal. And that's even the opposite ways too. When people are projecting or spazzing or low, like the worst thing you can do when somebody is low is go, oh, you ain't fucking with me? It's like, nah, my nigga, I'm going through something right now, or this is going on. It's like, offer that grace and that space to check on that person before you just lean into some like, oh, why you ain't called me? Like, fuck you. Like, it ain't always about you. I love you and I really, really rock with you, but what if I needed you to show up in another way right now? Like, a step of that is me being able to articulate that, but the worst thing to do is to lead with accusatory energy or anything. It's like, nah, dog, this is where I'm at right now. How we got there, I'll never know.
Yeah, I think for some reason people think that if you're not talking to them, then you're off doing like this amazing, great shit.
Think I'm in the house.
Like they think that you like doing all this fun, like great, amazing, fun, having a great time, and is disregarding that maybe they need to be hearing from you or whatever. But that's not always the case.
Ever.
I mean, sometimes folks are just like, they're tapped into whatever the fuck they doing. Like, yeah. I think that the tapped in thing is just sometimes it just goes that way, man. Like, I think as a whole, we are all here to maximize our time here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like as individuals, and if you got to get your individual shit straight before you can do all that other shit, man. Like, that's truth be told. So like if somebody ain't talking to you, it ain't that, maybe they are disregarding your ass, but like chances are it has to do with, nigga, they out here trying to figure out they shit.
They own shit.
That's it.
Elders not having more information, but having more information about the more information that we have.
Real life. And what made me come to that was like I see like the dynamic between elders and the young folks, man. It just is what it is. But like with how much time they've been here, we have so much more access to information. It's crazy. About even things that they went through. You know what I'm saying? Like we just have like so much information now. So then we tend to operate as if we know it all or we have all the information, right? Which is true. We do have a lot of fucking information. Like we do know a lot of stuff. Like we can do classes on the amount of shit that we know. But there's also another layer that's there that we have zero clue about. And that has to do with actually physically experiencing whatever the hell it is that we know about. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what elders have on their end. Like, they may not know all the nuances of what they had to deal with, but they were actually physically there to know that, oh, this ain't something that you can read up, because they ain't telling you what actually was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole nother layer to information that you definitely need. So it shouldn't be like a shun or a disregard. There should be decent to great communication between the two, because there's a lot that can come from that. I think that's kind of like alchemy in a way. Like you can definitely create, you can take some of that information and create some wild shit with the full picture. And so that's why I kind of brought that up, because I just thinking about, man, we for sure be like, the fuck you know about, man? I heard that already. I know what that is. So it is what it is. So that's crazy.
No, I when I read it, I remember my mind just being blown. Like, damn, that's a hell of a way to break that down, and to maybe begin the bridge of understanding generationally, because it's just so, or maybe it's not meant to be bridged. I don't know. It just, especially when you start to get into millennial versus Gen Z and just like, yo, this is like, we do it with money, right? Inflation. Like what $5 million was in 1973 is the equivalent of $25 million a day. You know, it's how do we apply that to dealings and just being overstimulated and having too much information? Like literally, if this is the information age, that doesn't necessarily make everybody smarter. And because the lack of resources existed when it did, I don't necessarily make you tougher, I guess. You know, I don't know. It seems counterproductive, and there's so much to be acquired from each other.
And it really depends on like what you're looking to get out of life too, because this will be like, what I'm talking about is a holistic way of living. So this is getting the full picture in order to make your decisions.
Yeah.
Which is not always, I mean, this isn't the way that people want to live their lives. You know, like it doesn't work well with your anxiety to be fully aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, anxiety is a bitch, and knowing a lot more makes you even more anxious. So I do understand that part. I know it is not for like the faint of heart and stuff like that, or like the, you know, like for everybody's souls and shit. Like, I get that, but I'm just thinking of the heightened sense of things, because like what I've always felt with awareness is that, and people know this too, but there is no way of taking that shit back. So like, once you become cognizant of something, there's no way for you to unlearn that information. Like, that's not how this thing goes. Or it's a hell of a process. Like, I was just having a conversation. I had somebody doing a shoot of the of our spot or whatever, and he was just talking about growing up in a conservative household. He's probably like a 50-year-old white dude, and talking about like him. This was probably like the last 4 years might have been like some of the hardest shit for him in particular, because it opened up wounds of like all the shit that's going on in the country towards a specific group, and him unlearning or trying to unlearn all of the things that he grew up with in his household, and like just having communication with people and trying to figure out where should he like what causes should he support and this, that, and the other. Like it would, and it you can think of you can hear that and think of that as something that's like pandering, or like guilt. You could put it in those type of categories, but I'm hesitant to do so in particular situations if they come across as genuine, and if that's what we're asking for as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you asking for people to have an understanding? Because if you're asking for understanding, then you have to be okay with the full process of somebody unwinding years of disillusion and fucking being taught a certain type of way until you come in contact with certain people and you're just like, this isn't anything that I grew up understanding. This wasn't anything that was taught. I'm a part of the dominant group, and a lot of times I didn't feel that way, but I'm still held up to that standard. I don't go through the exact same things. So how am I supposed to go from this part of the world and somehow see other sides of it, or see other people's things that they're going through, which then brought into the attention like, fuck. So there is a lot of conversation, a lot of questions that are asked from people that are in the lower groups, right? In the US, whatever. There is a lot of conversation around that, and it's like a talk at these individuals, and they turn all they do is turn their ears down, so they don't hear any of that shit. So in the rare cases where somebody is trying to figure out what the fuck is, like, what am I feeling? What am I going through? And also, how can I know more? Then that's the moment where the volume is getting turned up a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's something that should be more so embraced, because I can definitely, if you're looking at the whole equation, you can look at it and say, if you're in a dominant group, why the fuck would you ever do anything that would take you out of the dominant group? So that's the only thing that the dominant group is looking at, is that the more people that have this, that, and the other going for them means that they're taking food off of our table. That's it. That's all they have to look at. Don't know how I got that far into it, but that's what I'm trying
to figure out. I'm like, damn, what unlocked that initial thought, and then what possessed you to just keep exploring that into that infinite sort of space? Because that's some infinite shit.
Yeah, so it's because it's the latest group of like readings that I'm doing.
Okay.
Because like along like the path that I'm on or whatever that I'm reading and things, I'm doing it in a lineage like of like how the titles are or whatever. But each one is explaining information from the prior one, which then goes into what my everyday life is.
Gotcha.
And the everyday experiences I've had since I was young.
Gotcha.
So it brings so much more attention to like what is actually going on in the world and what is in the, like in the background. So like it explains basically everything that Monty has been talking about since the top of this pod, or throughout all of our pods, when it comes to like the economics of things, and the reason why that's not like it's a harder topic than just talking about race. You know what I mean? So like I always thought of it too as being because of racist thoughts or being racist. When in actuality it has more so to do with how it's set up in India, was put together over in the U.S. where you create a caste system. That makes a lot more sense to me, because that means that we can fight about all these other things, but if I'm only seeing you in a certain caste and not as the dominant one, then of course there is nothing that I need to do besides ignore the fact that you want to supersede your own caste and move to the next level. I'm gonna allow the entire public to do that shit for me, and I just stay in mine. That makes a lot more sense to me. And then I just do little small nuanced things that reminds you as an individual that you're not of my caste. Right. That makes a lot more sense to me, because then that explains why in certain situations, like at a restaurant, you'll be talking to your group and somebody of the dominant caste will walk past you or walk to your situation. Oh, perfect example that they put in here though was you being a father, you having your child there at a restaurant, and then you tell your child that they cannot drink their juice until they've eaten their vegetables. And then somebody from a dominant caste overhearing that from another booth coming over and saying that there's no problem, go ahead and drink your juice. So superseded what your father just said to the child, because and disregarded that person because, look, I don't see you as a part of my group, and I am adjusting this to a younger person. So I would tell that person directly as a dominant person that you can do this in this moment because I said so. Disregarding the fact that they have a parent right here. And how many times does that happen, if you think about it, just in your day-to-day life over time, has somebody that it would be considered in a dominant group would just say things without thinking about what it is that they're saying. Yeah. That's because you're not on the same level as them in the system.
Yeah. Sheesh.
I kind of took us through a whole
thing, man.
So my bad, y'all.
That's why I was asking. I was just like, damn, like it.
There's so much there.
I know I covered hella bases, but that was just like, is a thought, because that now and communication, because I've always been big on communication, but I'm getting the full picture of communication as well.
Boom.
So like when people are talking to me, it's like so many things are going through my head as the conversation is going on, that it may seem as if like I'm saying things that are so much further along than what we're actually talking about. But that's only because in my head I have hella shit going on from what this dialogue is that lets me know like where I'm putting it in the
So you're saying
spectrum.
You're at the Will Smith level of communication?
I would love to be at the Will Smith level of communication.
To that point though, what does you knowing that about yourself, uncovering that about yourself in those tools, to Lex's question, what do you do with someone who's just saying shit for a reaction? Like they don't believe a word of what they saying, but their sole base is to get a reaction. Can you diagnose that fairly quick, or is that something you kind of realize in a moment and then you go?
Oh, so I did that before reading though, or before reading as much as I do now. But like in communication, reading a person that is trying to get a specific situation is something that us as African Americans have to deal with all the fucking time. But even worse is an African American 6'5" black male that plays sports and walks with a certain type of demeanor.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like all of these things are operating at the exact same time.
Yep.
That makes people want to put me in my place at all times of the day, bro. Like it doesn't stop. Where a person that will think that will try to figure out a way to get me outside of the character that I'm presenting in order to really prove that this isn't you. So this is not, that's always been nonstop. But me learning more about it, put it in a way where like it becomes like a sort of game of like best believe you break character before the character that you believe that I am actually presents itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what I think about as an adult, we always have to think about everything turns into it needing to be a like you having representation. Everything is about representation as an adult. So whenever somebody is doing something towards you, you can try to operate as like me being a more aggressive and overbearing figure over who is across from me. But you better believe that the incited reaction that you just showed can lead to a lawsuit. Simple as that. And we lose the majority of lawsuits. So regardless of our representation, it comes down to who they actually utilize to put in the courts in the first place that sees us a certain type of way, not of the dominant cast. So like that's simple as that. So these are all like things that go through the head just in communication. So I'd rather it be where, as I've come in here before about shit that was going on, I'd rather it be where I don't react, but I have a great time showing you that I'm not, and also getting you to come out of character. So then I can turn that around and utilize the card that you were going to pull on yourself. I'm the sewer. In this particular situation, you thought you were, but guess what?
Yeah.
Please come out of character, do something towards me. Best believe I'm trying to take everything that you have. In this particular situation, because I cannot stand opportunists. So with opportunists, you got to utilize them in that type of, that type of capacity. So that's like how I kind of envision or visualize those particular situations. I don't think, bro, there's not too many situations I'm going to be in where I'm afraid for what's going to happen to me. Like, you think you about to whip my ass? I bet.
You have. That's,
you know what I'm saying?
part.
Like, that sounds interesting to me, but okay.
What do you make of that? How do you assess that? It's like, oh, you don't believe a word of what you're saying. Because it's prominent now. Maybe it was always a thing, but with platforms and with the instant gratification of a like or a retweet or a share or engagement, a comment, finding people a little bit more likely to jump out the window.
Yeah, like when it comes to platform shit, like streaming shit, YouTube, podcasts, I've decided to make this decision that I just will not engage with it.
Yeah.
Because that's all they want is that engagement,
Facts.
that follow, that 30 to 45 seconds of you watching their video clip so they can use that for whatever leverage to whatever business deal they have.
The anger behind shows, the anger behind Candace.
Yeah, just trying to find a way that they can leverage their next move. And that's really where that whole topic came from, was like the whole Candace thing and her making Miley and whoever else say something about the dude wearing the dress. Just even with the whole NBA YoungBoy statement, It's like,
what did he say again?
He said, fighting doesn't make you a man.
Killing somebody does. Yeah.
And it's like, if he really think like that, that's a whole nother issue we got to talk about. But I just feel like people just say whatever so they can instantly get somebody to say something to them and make other people say something, so then their name gets hot. Whether it's good or bad, they're using it for leverage.
Yeah, that's been a thing. Like, don't respect the person that gets shot, you respect the shooter. Shit like that. Yeah. So that's been
It's moving us into an interesting time. I think we've been here for a little bit, but the convoluted. We started with it at the beginning. We're redefining love and relationships and monogamy and all that kind of shit. And we're redefining that in real time. Genders are being redefined at the same time. Then also toughness and what that really means and how far you can leverage it and what the monetary value of appearing tough and appearing to be a killer. Like, there's monetary. What Vlad and Adam 22 are essentially saying is that the more violent you are as a black artist or as a brown artist in your videos, the more coverage they're willing to give you. Is essentially what they're representing. I imagine those two gentlemen don't feel that way. They feel as if they're just third-party service representatives that are reporting on it. But the acclaim, the fame, the leverage that these young artists are, and not all of them are young. I'll give Vlad and them that too. Not all of them are young. Some of them are grown-ass men and women that are going up just to pop shit. To your point of like, yo, I don't believe in none of this. It's just the fastest way to get lit. Not accounting for the fact that there are consequences to all of this, right? And for me, personalizing the shit again, words are so powerful. Thoughts are so powerful. Visuals and imageries and what you're putting out is so fucking powerful. I really love us and literally have made peace and have zero shame in everything that I do and create, being in the name of creating imagery and aesthetic of how I experience blackness in America specifically, but also what my blackness has afforded for me traveling abroad and seeing different things and experiencing art and culture and shit. Like, that's important, bruh. It's very important to me as a means to unlock an alternate way of think. Like the way G just broke communication down as a black man. That's just gonna save somebody's life. I'd bet my last on it. Because for every negative comment that exists on that Kevin Hart video that's picking up steam for whatever reason, because it's negative, it's perceived as negative. For every negative comment at G that we've been getting, bro, there's been twice as many positive comments going, yo, this is a dope-ass conversation, dope-ass show, salute. Like, seriously. And so you go, damn. There are people out there seeking dialogue like this between men of color that are leading with love. Fuck all that other shit. Like this is leading with love. And so for the trolls that have cracked the code and the algorithm of how to fast track and get the views, more power to y'all.
Completely.
More like, seriously, I mean that wholeheartedly, because be some days be like, nigga, I just want to say something to be lit and see what we can turn that into money wise. But I get back to the Netflix. Oh, goddamn, that's crazy. Back to the whole Netflix point. We playing a whole long game of IP that we can not only leverage later, but shit we can be proud of. Some of my views may change. I may have said some wrong shit. I may have gotten a lot of things wrong on the show. But that's why y'all are here to correct me. That's why y'all can chime in the comments, be like, my nigga, you got that wrong. Bet. I ain't die. We keeping it lit, but we can be proud of what we grew into in the prophecy. A Hov said, I gave you prophecy on my first one, and the didn't believe me till the second one came out. Like, nigga, this is consistent in the rhetoric and being consistent in the prophecy, but also hella specific in the prayer too, in terms of what I wanted to manifest a show with my cousin, who I think is one of the most brilliant thinkers. Like, the way this nigga unpacks shit, he's been like this since we were kids, though. It's like, yo, I want to do a show with him where people get to appreciate his filtering system, because it's guided me on so much of my journey. Poe's not here. He's one of the most brilliant problem solvers I've ever met in my life. Just happens to be my cousin. Met Lex, and this nigga was like, yo, I'm about to make films, nigga. And then came back maybe a month later, and y'all had done that film, and you showed me that shit, and y'all submitted it to the film fest. I'm like, yo, this nigga just can say he's gonna do something and go do it. Never seen no shit like that. AKA Frank, I love you, bro. I had a moment at his studio the other day where I was like, yo, his dad was one of the first black men I knew that owned some shit. He's like, yo, y'all gotta come work at this house. I'm fixing it up to rent it out. I was like, wait, you could do that? I don't even know white people that done that. Like, all our landlords is white. Here this black man is like, nah, y'all gonna come clean this yard up. I'm gonna pay y'all because I got somebody coming to rent it out next week. Like, damn, that's crazy. And you don't realize the impact. Bill and Mona Montgomery, they trapping out the house. They own a company. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the impact that has on you going forth, at least it did on me. And so the reef and everything aspiring to do going forth is just in the name of true freedom and what that brings, man. I don't know how the fuck we got all the way there.
Completely. All that. But yeah, don't let them occupy space, man.
What else? We had some L asking niggas, are we taking the vaccine? But then you had the nerve to turn around and ask us are we gonna do a candle in our scent too? It can't be both. You can't go get the vaccine and then be like, I'm gonna do a candle in my scent too. No, nigga.
You gotta pick one?
You gotta pick one, man.
Hey, I feel like that's 2021, man. 2021 is you gotta take the vaccine, you gotta get your own scented candle. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, make sure your action always, don't forget, your smells and shit.
Wait, so are y'all getting a vaccine and are you making a candle, nigga? What you mean?
I think I'm gonna do the candle.
You doing both? Lex look like he doing both.
Nah, I'm doing the candle. If I gotta do one.
If
I gotta do one, I wouldn't do neither.
But if I gotta do one,
Gotta pick a choice.
yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with the candle. If I gotta do one or the other, I'm for sure doing the candle.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know why folks are so gung ho on like getting this damn vaccine this quick.
People keep laughing at me, and I just keep bringing up one thing. Yeah, I Am Legend.
Yeah.
It was a vaccine that turned everybody into motherfucking monsters.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'm like, nigga, that's a movie. Nigga, Will Smith did that.
Check
Will Smith did that, so we don't have to go
through that.
Okay. You feel me? I'll take the vaccine in like an isolated location. Like I'll take it if I was out like in like the boonies somewhere.
What's the difference for you?
Because I don't know how other people about to react. Like I feel like damn, it's mind over matter right now. Man. Like
Yeah.
I ain't the one changing, but I can't say that for the next man.
For the next man, yeah. We're living in a fucked up time, y'all.
It's sick with it.
I can't do a sin or a vaccine. Like niggas is really making sense of themselves.
How you gonna know how you gonna know you took a vaccine? Like you gotta have the paperwork on you all the time?
Records, yeah.
I know, but how they put it up like immediately? You know what I'm saying? Like like in Black Mirror, when they do the
scans and shit.
Yeah, no, but when they go like when they get on a flight, they can run through your eye data, and let you know where you've been for the last 24 hours to a week.
That's essentially where we heading to, like the real IDs and shit you need to travel abroad. You're gonna have to have one to travel.
That's what I'm thinking. The only way you have to do the vaccine they gonna force you is to get on a flight.
Yeah,
or
if you work at the airport.
And I want out of here so bad, nigga. Like
essential spots. That's automatic.
Yeah.
So I want to know, how do you know that that's really your scent?
L asking about how you know the vaccine. This nigga looks like, man, that Drake don't really smell like that.
All this is lavender and cocoa butter. You ain't gonna fool me.
You ain't gonna pull a fast one on me.
Nah, man. You just like get in like one of those. You just get on a blanket, like sweat a little bit.
This nigga sick.
What?
This nigga is
submit the blanket.
What happened with Sweetie G?
Oh, she got a similar situation as Tiana.
Tiana? Yeah. Really? Is Sweetie signed to Empire?
I don't know. But her situation was that she's supposed to have this fire song, or at least a fire rollout to do for a song that she had with Doja Cat. So she had a way that she wanted to present it, but the label just put it out.
Oh, she's signing to Warner. Ooh.
Which had me confused because I was just like, I mean, I get label shit. Like, I understand they have control over all this shit. So if you do something, it's theirs. And they're probably like, we got to show some type of return for how much money's coming out for your ass.
So say it again. So she had a rollout that she wanted to do, but the label just put it out.
The label just released something. I don't know if they released a full song or whatever, but she had it in a way that she had like this bomb idea that they had already done the video for and how she wanted to present it. And I was just thinking, I was just like, fuck, like that's crazy that somebody at the label wouldn't like
would step on your rollout.
Yeah, but like for her though, like she's shown, at least for sure through the pandemic, that the ideas that she has as far as like engaging with the public is you might want to pay attention to that.
But you bring up a very interesting point. The people inside the building at the label,
they didn't see that.
They probably saw it, but what they
don't see the engagement online.
The way they see it is different than how you see it, though. It's so funny how
no impact. Like they're not picking up impact.
It's not even impact, G. It's how, like, that's what I love about Sweetie and what's brought, and you brought that up too. It's like the second you watched her, you were like, oh, I'm a fan. I did the same thing. The second I watched her with her, like, just doing regular shit, I was like, whatever she put out, I'm supporting, because she just seemed like a dope ass person, like just genuine. Right. And so what the labels, they're trying to manufacture that shit so bad because they got so many bots over there. And I don't mean bots like the bots that are buying up the shoes. They got artists who are like shells that they're trying to make, and so when they miss, it's because they're trying to treat Sweetie like she's a fucking bot. No, she's just a dope ass person.
Which doesn't bode well for dope people.
No, doesn't bode well for dope people
because they see that shit as corny. Like, we know that's about to be presented as corny, and I'm not the corny one.
Exactly.
But y'all not gonna be able to differentiate between like who actually did this shit.
Exactly, and so that's where it gets convoluted. And you're like, yo, sometimes the labels just gotta fall back and support. Where, God bless his soul. Fuck, man. Mac Miller is one of those people you just get out of his way. Tyler, the Creator, just get out of his. Just don't mess nothing up, and it's gonna be awesome for everybody. You know, where Earl is a little bit more reserved, don't want to be around nobody. You know, fuck that. But still, he's one of them people. Just get out of his, support him, get out of his way. Frank Ocean, just get the fuck out of his way. But he ain't gonna do the whole personality shit. He just gonna come drop some fire shit. Sweetie gonna be outside. She's gonna talk to the people, really engaging. I don't know. There's shout out to Push too. Push. I gotta start giving him credit too, because if anyone's noticed the change in like how great the show sounds, it's all Push. Both the Grand National Radio Show and Meet the Break podcast. So love you, bro. Thank you. But Push brings up such a brilliant point. It's like certain people just got that shit and certain people don't, in terms of just like dealing with people. It's as simple as that. And when that shit jumps off the screen like that, get out of that person's way. So damn, I didn't know that Sweetie was going through that. I hope that it gets figured out in whatever's going on with Warner or the label, like they figure it out, or she is able to get out of that situation and get somewhere where somebody sees her full scope as a personality. Like, because I do think that there's value there. Personally, I do.
Yeah. I'm surprised that's that just threw me off. I was like,
why would you?
She got to do with that?
Of all, like in the pandemic, she sort of figured it out.
I can see if something hadn't worked yet, so you got to step in. Like, but like everything I've seen so far, that shit works easily though.
Oh man, damn y'all, we had hella topics and we got through all of them. That's impressive.
Yeah, and I just wanted to bring just attention to the story about the Debutante Hart.
Thank you.
So if that name rings a bell, it is the young African American boy from the picture of like giving out free hugs, and then the officer giving him the hug. It's the picture. It's the photo that went. Everybody knows this one because everybody's online. So it's the photo of him giving a hug to the white guy, to the white cop.
Yeah.
In essence, and then that's the one that fluctuated everywhere. So like people were looking at the dynamic of, oh, maybe there is hope in the world because, Black children are hugging white cops. So that should be the bridge. That should be the beginning of like the conversation of like getting these two sides to be on the same page and like hopefully we can get over some of this protesting and stuff like that. But the story that wasn't so loud, that wasn't as loud, at least as this photograph, because it tends to be hushed or put underneath a rug because they just want to serve a certain agenda. Is that that young boy that looked 8 in that photo was actually 12. He was adopted by two white women.
Wait. Is that why you didn't explain all this shit before the show?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
He was adopted by two white women. It was 6 kids in total. They were starved and beaten on the regular. They were
prior to getting to the white women. Prior to getting to the white women.
No, being in the family with the 2 white women. The 2 white women were beating the children and starving them. We're collecting $2,000 per child in this adoption thing, so $2,000 per month per child, and wasn't feeding the children. That's the reason why, as a 12-year-old, he looked like he was 8. And the photo of him like being super sad and the tears and stuff like that was actually cries for help. They used to stage the children in different photo ops in order to get public funding.
Larry, stop fucking with me, bro.
No, I'm saying there's a lot more to these stories than what tends to drive the narrative. So I wanted to make sure that I at least talked about it. As some of this stuff started to roll out, as far as like how the children were being treated, it went on a lot of deaf ears. But when it started getting a little bit louder for the 2 women, which was literally, it took, I think it was 4 years. So this was, or 3 years. So this is when he was now 15. That it got a little bit louder, and before it could actually get to the 2 women, because they knew that they were going to be in trouble, they were riding in a van with all the children, and they were researching one of the ladies in the passenger seat. She was researching the ways to die, so the best way to die. And they ran the car off the cliff. They thought that originally this was thought that it'd be an accident, but it turned out to be that this was a murder-suicide, and took them out. So I did want to bring attention to that family, and to that young boy, because that was a narrative that was ran as something that was a lot. It was way more sugarcoated than what the situation actually was. So it's important to bring light to some of these types of situations where you have to do full research on some of these things, because if you allow the oppressor to run the narrative and tell the story, then that's exactly how we're going to get our story. So yeah, that was an unfortunate situation, but I definitely wanted to say, man, I apologize for the lack of interest that I put in. I hated first and foremost the photo, because that's not our interactions
at all.
And it's a cold deal, because it's the expectation for Black people as a whole to be a lot more forgiving towards our oppressor than we should be.
That's all I saw when I saw.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really what that was that it's showing that we should be a lot more, we should be forgiving. And if we were to jump out of character per se, then all of a sudden we are like the raging human beings. That just, you know what I'm saying? So bro, like that, I just wanted to make sure that, we talked about Devontae Hart, and I apologize.
Remind me to post that to you, man, with that caption of somehow, because that I did not know that.
Yeah, so Devontae Hart, I apologize that I'm sorry that happened.
So sorry that
happened. Definitely be a clip.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that happened to all 6 of the children too, man. Like that's fucked up, and fuck y'all. But man, that's I'm sorry that was a thing.
Man. Well, that's how we sending y'all out this into the world this
My bad,
week.
y'all.
No, I think we do such a great job of just like balance, man. I do.
My bad about you, but like that's I'm sorry that I sent y'all off that way because like that's literally what the creator of Black Mirror was talking about. Was like the reason why I haven't been giving y'all new shit is because my nigga, we're in the middle of it right now.
Yeah, it's I don't need to pour.
Yeah,
salt
like I'm creating shit, but I'm just not giving it to y'all right now because like, bro,
if you were fucked up before,
yeah,
sorry,
like
guys.
this ain't the time for me to like be giving y'all theories on shit that's actually happening. But
That's
you know,
hilarious. Oh man! Before we do go, I want to say thank you to our viewership that is growing nonstop. Keep subscribing to the YouTube page, Monty Draper. But within there, if you're just there for the podcast, subscribe to follow the playlist. So there's a Meet the Brave playlist within the Monty Draper subscription page. Hit the notifications, run those up. Salute the Let's Bubble Productions for constantly making shit look lit. Our brother Lex Bub. Yeah, and then everybody listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Simplecast, Castbox, Google Play for now, because that shit's going to be up at the end of the year. Thank y'all so much. It's been another episode of Meet the Brave podcast. We'll see y'all next week.
love.
Yes.